And here we are back on camera. We went actually on video. We did the 400 at the axle head and the 600 on the axle head, the 400 on the axle and the 600 on the axle. So we'll just pretend for this instructional video that we've also done the 1000 grit and 2000 grit. So I'm just going to take some of the polish, and some of you may remember how I had my instructional video just using the product 1 of 2 and 2 of 2 polish. I found that I don't have to use nearly as much of the polish using this method because of the sandpaper. So that amount has been spread out on the handkerchief. You can see I've used mine a lot. Just put it in the washing machine with bleach and you got pretty much a new handkerchief. Turn the Dremel on. We're also pushing up against that axle head for a little bit more polishing. And we fold it over. Fold it again. And one more time. And you can see what we've done. We've took a little bit more metal off the axle. And we'll put the lid back on our 1 of 2 polish. And this is the wheelbore polish 2 of 2. Shake it up. And we'll put a small amount of that on the handkerchief. Like so. We'll spread that around with our finger a little bit. This is taking metal off, but it's not near as dark, so it's a little bit finer, which is the final polish. And I did that about 3 times like so. You can see this is dark and this is lighter. I'm going to shut the Dremel off, and let that fog up a little bit, and take it off, and then go to the cleaning up of the axle after the polishing. That fogs up pretty quickly. For this instructional video, we'll just say that's long enough, and we'll polish off that haze polish. This is on a clean section of the handkerchief, and you can see that it took a little of the metal off. At the beginning, when I learned this process, I was using alcohol and air in the Dremel at this point. But now I'm just using the cotton handkerchief to get it to this point. And then we're going to go to the alcohol. Take this out. I'll try to show this on video. This quality of the video is not very good because I got it set for being on an email video or posting it on the internet. I don't know if you can see if it's shiny or not on the video. I'll shut the camera off and reset the camera over here so we can clean the axle with alcohol. Okay, here we back on the camera again. I bought these little, I call them miniature Tupperware things at Dollar General or Family Dollar, whichever that was, I don't remember. I think you get about 6 of them for $1. And this is a piece of silvan cloth that you can cut out of your silvan cloth that comes with the kit. It's just a little strip about that size. And you put that in your alcohol. I removed my axle that we polished from the axle stand. The folded part I work towards the head. And if I can get a hold of the cloth, just take that and hold it with your thumb and index finger and turn your axle. Try to get down, take your fingernail and work down in that groove. Like so. It don't take a long time and a lot of effort. Try to keep your fingers off the axle itself and keep and work with the head, and then I reverse it and clean the rest of the axle. Just dip it in the alcohol, take your air. Hang on to it. And what I have found out recently at this point, if you check this under magnification, there is kind of a light haze left on the axle. I know you're not going to pick that up on video. And here we go with our little sections of Bounty paper towel that I cut up. And I place it up against the head. Press down pretty firmly, twisting it. And that'll clean up that axle and get that haze off that's left by the alcohol. And we do the rest of the axle, just touching the head of the axle and not the shaft, and twist it right through. And hanging on to this end, you can use your microscope, 60 power, that I sell on the internet. But I've got a shop light with magnification, and I don't know what the power on this is, but it just works perfectly. I'll pick that up in the camera, but I set that on top of the shop light, which has got a light and magnification, so I got 2 magnifications that works perfect for this. And I place it here. That is a nice shiny axle. And I hold with my fingers and twist a little bit so I can look all the way around it. There's a little bit of particle. That's gone. Well, that's pretty axle. All that haze is gone, and I'm looking now for particles. That head of that axle looks really good. The shaft looks really good. I don't see any scratches. It's nice and shiny. Turn it a little more. What I'm doing is just working myself around the whole axle. Make sure there's nothing hiding on there, any kind of particles. So that is really not super clean. And I think using these little paper towels really helps. And I'll try to hold this up here, maybe it'll show up. There's the finished axle. Ready to go on to the rest of the axle prep and preparation for the car. And I believe that concludes the instructions on using the Spacewalker polishing kit.